Humor me this. Pakistan's total debt, external debt, is $131 billion as per available data online, while India's strategic forex reserves are close to $700 billion. What if India buys all of Pakistan's debt and basically buys out Pakistan to make it a sort of colony, just like China does. China tries to do so with other smaller nations. This will already save us billions of dollars in army expenditure and help us stabilize the border. A friendly or vassal Pakistan will also open land routes to Central and West Asia, boosting overall economic strength of North India. Overall, sounds like a good investment. Is this the right way to look at things? Well, that's an interesting question. It's an interesting thought experiment, and I'm glad that people are thinking in creative ways. So, what the what if we do this? So yeah, according to the latest information, let's assume that Pakistan's external debt is about $131 billion. Okay, so here's the thought that we, as in India, we buy all of that debt, and that turns Pakistan into a vassal. Does Can that work? So we have to understand, what does that $131 billion of debt actually represent? What does it mean? To whom does Pakistan owe this? So if you look at it, there's going to be several slabs of debt. First of all, there's going to be a bunch of debt to multilateral lenders like the World Bank, like the Asian Development Bank, like the International Monetary Fund, etc. I would say about 30% of Pakistan's external debt is to these multilateral lenders, these treaty-based institutions. Can India just buy this debt? No, we can't. Right? This debt that Pakistan owes to these organizations, institutions, etc. It cannot be traded like bonds. Without that institution's board approval, the World Bank's board has to approve it. The IMF's board has to approve it. The Asian Development Bank, its board has to approve it, and it typically doesn't work like that. So that 30% we can't buy. Then there's another slab of debt, about let's say 40%, which goes to which is owed by Pakistan to bilateral creditors, like the Saudis, like China, like the UAE, like Qatar. It's been, borrowing money from all these nations. So these are bilateral arrangements. These are sovereign states. Let's say it's 40%. Okay, or let's say that 40% of Pakistan's debt is owed to these sovereign states. So can India buy this debt? Potentially, yes, but only if the current lenders agree to sell the debt to India. And I can assure you that Beijing, that China, will not agree to sell Pakistan's debt to India. Excuse me. So there you have it. So once again, see, 30% IMF, World Bank, all that. 40% is these sovereign nations, sovereign states that Pakistan owes money to. Then there'll be about 20% of the debt, which will be to commercial banks, various global investors. So theoretically, you can purchase this on the open market, but these investors, if they sense that there's a grab, there's a potential, opportunity to make money, you're gonna have to buy it at a premium. So 20% of the debt, you may have to buy it at double the rate, the amount, like 40%. So, uh, so if you look at the big picture in this manner, then you will see that at the very most, a few tens of billions of dollars of this debt may be liquid enough for India to purchase it, and you may have to pay well above the current market value to buy this debt. And let's say practically you can't buy more than 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 billion dollars of the debt. 50 would be too much, I would say. So you can't even buy a third of the debt. Now let's say theoretically we could purchase the entirety of the debt. Okay, we purchase the whole of the entire $131 billion of debt. um, so what does that mean? Does it mean that Pakistan becomes our vassal state? So you to understand that debt does not mean the same thing as sovereignty. You can own sovereign bonds of a nation, and if you own those sovereign bonds, it gives you the right to demand repayment on the agreed terms, on the terms of the sovereign bonds. So let's say you have done this, then you have the right to demand repayment from Pakistan. You don't have the right to tell Pakistan how to run its army, what to do with its nukes, and what to do with its foreign policy. You know, for example, let me give you a great straightforward right away example. China holds about $800 billion of US treasury bonds. Okay, but China doesn't govern Washington. China doesn't is not in a position to tell Washington what to do, right? So, so you can't, even if you purchase all of the debt from Pakistan, you can't really control them. You can't tell them what to do. And Pakistan, if India were to tell Pakistan, give us the money back, they would simply default. They would say, we are not in a position to give you the money. Do what you can. Yeah. So it's not gonna work. It will simply stop payments and it will dare India to escalate. Do what you can, right? So if you want to truly vassalize a nation, if you want to truly control a nation, colonize the nation, you need boots on the ground. You don't need bonds, you don't need debt. Okay, real control, historically, even today, it requires some form of either occupation, or you need to have control over very strategic areas of our country like ports and air for uh, airports, military installations, and all of that. Or you need to install proxy rulers, okay, which you can see today in various nations. So none of these things can be delivered by holding a debt portfolio, right? And at the end of the day, even if we were to do all this, would it save billions of dollars in RB expenditure? Very unlikely. A Pakistan that is financially beholden to you, but it is still sovereign, would double down on its terrorism and whatever asymmetric tools it has, and they would create a headache for us. So I would say it's not going to work. Even if we are in a position to buy all of the debt, we have the money, it would destabilize our economy to some extent, to a certain extent. We don't want to do that, and it's technically infeasible. So so this thought experiment is interesting, it's entertaining, but I would say it's not a it's not a sound investment. When you own debt, it's a financial claim, it's not something that gives you sovereignty. And if you attempt to buy Pakistan in this manner, it would deplete our hard earned reserves, resources, etc. It would to some extent destabilize our economy, and it would most likely not have any effect on the strategic risk we face from Pakistan. So not a good idea.